Hey guys, so welcome back to another video of the new series Who Dis, and today we are doing another episode on In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. Um, and of course, today we are doing the Revolution of Faith. Now, what are we eating or drinking rather? Um, Another Earl Grey. I did do some adjustments to the lighting and everything to see if that makes it look any better. Oh, and there's my phone. Um, I do plan, rather than what happened last week, I do plan to actually make videos this weekend, and I will post them. So that's all quick housekeeping. This will come out today. The others will come out either later this weekend, later this week, next weekend, whatever. So, but today I have my Gryffindor cup, which I love, or my Hufflepuff cup. Um, on the other side, it has that. So that's housekeeping. That's what's going on. So let's get into it since, we haven't yet made it to 5 minutes. So, where do we begin? For this section of reading is quite traumatic and is extremely overwhelming in what a revolution, what dictatorship, what horrible times does to somebody in the midst of both their faith and how they feel about, you know, God or how they relate to things. Now, as a devout Catholic, this is something that is makes me a possibly conflict of interest because um, the girls in this novel are Catholic, um, but there's quick thing of what's going on. We really see it in two characters mostly, though. Some of the readings that I've already done for next week, they do similar. Um, but Patricia and Bebe, they both show what faith does. Um, just some background. Um, Somebody like Patricia, we see what happens in the face of destruction and whenever you are forced to come to terms with what your faith looks like. For her, one of the scenes she's in a church and they're being bombed by the Trujillo regime. And, less than 30 years before, the Catholic Church changes their entire view basically on, Mary and everything else. And what Patricia does to protect herself, what she does to protect her, unborn child, her child that is still inside of her, is that she begs for forgiveness and she topples over, this statue to, take shelter in this position. Faith comes where you need it, as long as you are willing to have it. And Patricia reveals this in this beautiful moment. We see her topple, the statue, and rather than just crouching, she begs for forgiveness. In faith, you are searching for something more, something that you yourself cannot have, something that is impossible for you to tangibly hold. And we see in Patricia's chapter just how much she wants to hold on to something outside of her, which is something that most of faith is. We see this revolution of faith and belief in Patricia as she herself is so badly desiring to find something outside of the world she lives in and to find reason within what is going on in this revolution and all this pain that her and her family is being put through. And then we see Dede, who is kind of a switch. We see her come to a position that she looks for reimbursement, for encouragement, I guess, when her and her, you know, life is being turned upside down and she's looking for something. And there's this endorsement within the church, both about more than likely what she, and this point in the novel, is looking for, but as well as endorsement of what she should do in this revolution as she goes, to a priest hoping to find endorsement of what she more than likely wants. And yet she's pushed. She immediately sees that the priest is involved in this revolution, that he is in this desire to be more free, which is something we all talked about before. This desire for freedom is born in a place of faith that freedom does exist, but it exists in a piece of us that we are unable to understand and we don't find. This desire that both of these girls, Patricia and Dede, as well as all of the girls, are trying to find peace in themselves, peace in their families, as well as to understand what's going on. To find faith and to understand the revolution of faith means that you have to understand, you know, what is going to happen as, the archbishop of your country is almost assassinated because the regime is deeming now your faith a threat, taking one step forward. We see how the priest is revolutionized as a figure that chapters before we saw him reporting back to Trujillo. And after seeing the bombings of, churches, after seeing and understanding what people are doing and the damage that is happening, faith and religion comes to a point to say, this is not right. Probably one of the most iconic things that I believe I read for today um, was the fact that the priest gets on the pulpit and says that it is God's given right that people have liberty, that they have freedom, and that it is in faith and in religion that this is given to all Dominican people, and that it is this push and this desire for people to have something more than a simple life where they are ruled by somebody that is not God. Faith comes in a time when you need it, but it requires for you to reach out for it. Both of these girls give good representations, but faith also doesn't always give you what you want, which is what we see in Patricia or in Bebe. It is this revolution where you deem that God is big enough to help you in your problems, but it is also a point for all the sisters that they have to find a way to find God in the midst of a horrible situation. One that'll, in the end, ruin all their lives, ruin the lives of everybody around them, see their house burned, see their children be locked up, and in the end, see them be assassinated. Next week, that's more than likely what's going to be the topic. But it is important to understand that a change in faith and religion is realistically how characters deem themselves worthy of something or how their entire world is changed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're filled with peace, love, and joy.